I ordered Martin Hatch to execute his PR campaign. The university mission was a success, but at a great cost. I can't afford unwanted attention, not yet. We need to cover our tracks, shift the blame. Jack's transport never arrived at the Ground Zero operation. Martin wants to use the media as a tool to find him, turn the city against him. I know where I'll see him again. The visions have made that clear. Seeing Jack at the university, it awakened something in me. An admonition of what was coming. A reminder of how it all started. Who I once was. 17 years ago, I performed a test that caused a fracture in time. I was to blame. I came to terms with that very quickly. It took far longer to accept that there was nothing I could do to stop it. I built Monarch from the shadows. Waited 17 years for that moment to arrive again. Thought I was ready. This was my greatest struggle to date. Feeling the moment approaching, simply allowing such a tragedy to occur, knowing any action I would take to prevent it would simply make it so. And now it's here. We are the only ones prepared for what comes next. My plan was in motion. The time for hiding is over. Okay, finally. Found a stutter-proof pocket. This should work. I don't think anybody will ever hear this, but I need to record it. If only for my own sanity. I don't have long until they find me again. The end of time is here. I'm living it, living the goddamn proof. How did it come to this? Where did it all start? I conducted an experiment with Jack Joyce. I didn't listen. I was a goddamn fool. We caused a fracture in time. I entered the machine, was sent to the future, but where I ended up, there was no future. Time has stopped. Forever. I've spent weeks hiding from those things. They're always searching for me. And I'm not alone. Someone else is here, hunting me. I see her shadow. The machine is broken. I can't make it work. I have to find a way back. Before this ever happened, find a way to prevent the mistakes we made. This was my fault. It's my fucking fault. I have to make it right. I have to find a way. I know what they'll say. I've turned my back on Monarch, on the mission. For him, for Jack. The contrary is true. Jack could be our greatest asset if I can just make him understand. He needs time to understand, to process what has happened. Eventually, he'll see. He's the only one who possesses the same power, the lens to see clearly what I see every moment of every day. What's coming, the inevitability of it all. I just received word that shots were fired as Hatch delivered his speech. Shots meant from me. There's somebody else opposing me. Somebody on the inside. The sickness is spreading. Visions are becoming more frequent. I'm having increasing difficulty holding on to the present. They need me to be strong. The lifeboat depends on it. I hope to God Dr. Amaral finds a more permanent solution soon. The treatments won't last much longer. September 5th, 1999. Again. I found a way back from the end of time through a second machine. I went back as far as it would send me. February 28th, 1999, with a simple goal. To use my knowledge of the past to protect us from the future I witnessed. I've built a company from the ground up, invested in sure bets. We've made millions in mere weeks. And this is just the beginning. I can use this knowledge to do great things. I can use it to guide us to a better future, to make the world a better place. And it's strange, living all this a second time, reliving it all from the shadows. I recognized a vagrant the other day. I know how he dies, weeks from now. I can save him from that fate. A simple start. If I can do that much, then I can save us all. I still see visions of it. Every day, haunting me. Time frozen. Billions of people just stopped for an eternity. Never living and never dead. She followed me here. Tried to kill me. I'd like to think it haunts her, too. It was him. The whole time, Martin fucking Hatch has been sabotaging me from the inside. He destroyed the lab containing my only treatments. I can feel my sickness spreading by the minute. Without those treatments, it's only a matter of time until... He's had his hands in every phase of Monarch's development, overseen our R&D division for years. Why? Why now? This can't be about control. He wants control of Monarch. He is using this company for his own agenda, building towards something. All those secret projects I granted him. What has he been up to? We will find him, and I will put an end to this once and for all. It's only a matter of time before the sickness takes over. I've delayed the inevitable, taken the final treatment to reach the clarity necessary for my final actions. All I've built, everything I've done here, it can't be for nothing. The lifeboat cannot function without the CFR, the countermeasure. I've had a vision. I've seen Jack at the swimming pool holding the device. That's where I meant to stop him. That's where I must go. That's where this ends. I ordered Liam Burke to guard the CFR chamber. I know he won't succeed, but at the very least he'll slow Jack down, make sure he comes out hurting. Now I have to finish the job. Know that everything I have done was necessary to assure our survival. Every life lost was in the service of our future. My fight ends today, but Monarch's has just begun. The end of time cannot be prevented, but it can be endured. We will survive. We will survive. September 11th, 2001. It happened for the second time. I watched the planes hit. I watched the towers fall. I did everything I could to prevent it. Took every precaution. I warned them time and again. And just like every other thing I've tried to change, I have failed. It can't be done. I'm living in a cycle that cannot be broken. And I know where it leads. I thought I could prevent the end of time. I can't. But I can use this power to survive it, to ensure that when time ends, life doesn't. I'm refocusing Monarch's efforts. We'll develop technology to counter the effects of the fracture. We'll develop weapons to fight back against the enemies that will thrive there. I went back to William's workshop. The time machine is gone. He's working on a new device of some kind. I have no doubt she's involved somehow. So I need to keep my distance. I'll intervene when the time is right. I built an empire. It's time to put it to use. July 11th, 2010. A week ago, we retrieved a device from William's workshop. Dr. Kim believes it can be repurposed to develop our lifeboat protocol, the key to our survival. I killed her, the first sacrifice in the name of our mission. I could see in her eyes she would never fully accept what must be done. I pray that I never have to look in Jack's eyes and see the same thing. I'll make him understand. I'll make him see.
How close were you with Serene before the experiment?
He'd been looking out for me ever since we were kids. When my parents passed away, Paul's family made sure I got back on my feet. You know, Will wasn't around much. I never did have a tendency to make things easy for myself. Guess I dragged Paul into my mess. We spent a lot of time looking for trouble. We found it. He got out, I didn't.
You said you owed him one.
He saw the path I was on, where I'd end up if I stayed. He got me out of the country, told me to never look back. Until now, I never did. Yeah, you know, we were close.
Your brother was hired as head advisor on Project Promenade. Given William's concerns with the project, why do you think he accepted the position?
He knew he had to get on the inside if he was going to put a stop to it. I've got a better question for you. Why did Monarch secretly push to get my brother hired if they knew he was a threat? You wanted him there. Why?
That is simply untrue. Monarch invested heavily in the university experiment. It made sense to offer our own Cronin researcher, Dr. Kim, as the lead developer on the project. Kim's death was a tragedy for us all. But when he passed, we...
Don't play games with me.
Excuse me?
But you forget that I know things I didn't back then. I know what really happened to Dr. Kim.
What exactly are you inferring?
You want me to tell the truth? Then it goes both ways.
You rescued Amy Ferrero at the Ground Zero operation. We know that she downloaded classified Monarch documents. Documents regarding our plans, the CFR, the lifeboat protocol. We believe you're in possession of these stolen files.
Monarch framed me. Made the entire city believe I was a terrorist to cover up their tracks. I figured the world might want to know the truth.
You never released the documents to the public.
Well, depending on how this conversation goes, that could always change. Don't make me grumpy.
You said you'd been to William's workshop before. What brought you there?
He sold our family home to finish building the countermeasure. He never told me. When I found out, I was furious. I hadn't talked to the guy for almost 3 years. He stopped answering the phone. I figured he was deep into drugs, gambling, something bad.
Did you discover the truth?
I never gave him the chance. I found him outside that workshop and tore right into him. Blamed him for everything that went wrong between us. I could see in his eyes he wanted to tell me, but I wouldn't let him. It was the last straw, you know? If I'd handled the situation a bit better...
Let's move on to the next question. You gave yourself up at the party. Clearly your presence had an impact on Serene. He dropped everything to see you in that cell. Now why do you think that was?
He wanted me to understand why he did what he did, what he was trying to do.
He wanted to recruit you.
Maybe he should have thought of that before killing my brother.
Your behavior shifted during your mission to kidnap Dr. Amaral. You became less foolhardy, more calculated. What changed?
I found hope.
The second time machine? You actually thought you could go back and stop the fracture from ever occurring? Stop everything?
There was a chance. That was enough.
Yet every sign you've seen has proven otherwise. Your own brother posited that time works as a rigid closed loop. No interaction with the past could possibly change what has already occurred, and any attempt to do so would merely cause such events to occur in the exact manner they always did. Perhaps there was a lesson to be learned.
My brother died trying to save this world. You know the last words that came out of his mouth? I'll never stop trying. Lesson learned.
Let's talk about Serene's condition. You're aware of how it started?
Ground Zero.
Monarch developed a treatment to curb his symptoms. Our reports state that you destroyed those treatments, rendering him defenseless as his sickness spread.
That's what the reports say, yeah. But I've never stepped foot in that lab.
You have no way of proving that.
Now, I find it curious. Dr. Amaral was working on a permanent cure for Paul's condition. But she was ordered to stop before research was complete. Sounds like somebody on the inside didn't want him to get better.
Sounds like you have an interest in this cure. It makes me wonder if you know anybody else suffering from the same symptoms. It makes me wonder if that is why you're truly here.
Or maybe I just really like the coffee here.
Are you aware of the lifeboat protocol?
Yes.
The project was meant to assure our continued survival past the end of time.
The lifeboat was built for 300 people. What about the other 7 billion that...
Those 300 people were selectively chosen to take refuge in order to provide our best chance at developing a permanent solution to restoring the Joyce field, while protecting the human race against the threats that would arrive with the end of time. You stole the countermeasure, the CFR, the device necessary to run the lifeboat. You effectively sabotaged Monarch's survival plan. Knowing what you know now, do you stand by your decision?
300 isn't good enough.
I want you to tell me if any of these names ring a bell. Fiona Miller.
Nope.
Charlie Wincott.
No.
Beth Wilder.
You know the answer to that. I don't have time for this.
These names are all connected. It's hard to believe you would be aware of one, but not the others. They're all traitors to Monarch, linked by—
Traitors? But you say Monarch's mission is to save us from the dangers of the future? Now, Beth devoted her entire life to that cause. The one thing that could stop the fracture? Her sacrifice is what kept it safe. Everything you built, everything, was based on that device. The device she fucking died to preserve, and she's the traitor? Your plan was flawed from the start, and you blame her because she found a better way. You owe everything to her.
I thought you barely knew her.
Next question.
Let's talk about time travel.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it to anybody.
I want to go through every known event of time travel. Make sure we have the logic right, that we haven't missed anything.
Okay, stop me if you've heard this one before. Bartender says, "We don't serve time travelers here." Time traveler walks into a bar. No? Nothing, not even a smile?
Okay. Thank you. This helps.
That's a tough audience.
October 9th, 0400 hours. Monarch operation moves into the university in 15 minutes. This is it. Years of training, all leading up to this moment. Just need to keep my cover just a little bit longer. Monarch's objective is to apprehend Jack and William Joyce. Alive, if possible. If what she told me is true, then this operation is going to end in a shitstorm. It's up to me to make sure Jack gets out of this thing in one piece, but I can't risk blowing my cover just yet. The notebook didn't give me any orders regarding William. Still not sure how Jack is the key to all of this if William is the one with all the answers. We're about to find out. Okay. It's time to do this. Beth Wilder, signing off. October 9th. William Burke fucked the rescue operation. Put him on the trail of the lifeboat to buy some time, make sure he didn't find out what I'm really up to. Jack's gone. Disappeared while I had a goddamn gun to my head. Tried to contact him, but he's out for blood. Dealing with goddamn amateurs. This isn't how this was supposed to go. She never told me the fracture would start at the university. I could have stopped it, avoided all of this. Why didn't she warn me? She knew that this would happen. Why the hell didn't she warn me? October 9th, 1900 hours. We found it. The second time machine. It's the final proof I needed. Everything she wrote in that notebook came true. I found the final piece of the puzzle. The countermeasure that William built to stop a fracture in time went missing in 2010. It was never seen again. It's clear what that means. It was us who took it. It just hasn't happened yet. We go to the past, get the countermeasure, come back, and we can stop all of this in the present. That's our mission. Even if Jack doesn't know it yet. He's convinced we can go back and simply undo this all. He lit right up when he saw that machine, like time travel is some kind of goddamn magic eraser. He's gonna be in bad shape when he realizes the truth. Maybe even worse than I was. Poor bastard. Guy's stubborn as hell. Did I mention his ingenious plan to kidnap Dr. Amaral? Let's just say he's in handcuffs right now, waiting for me to Trojan horse his ass out of a high-security Monarch facility. He's got balls. I'll give him that much. Maybe I'll wait a bit longer. Make him sweat a bit. We've got Dr. Amaral. If she can fix this machine, then this is it. I have mixed feelings. That notebook gave me some kind of sense of invulnerability. I always knew what came next. Once I enter that machine, from that point forward, this story's unwritten. I haven't told Jack this, but I have found things in this swimming pool. Scattered papers, journal entries in my handwriting. My journey from this point forward isn't gonna be easy. That much is clear. As long as we succeed, it's all worth it. This can't be for nothing. We will succeed. We have to. It's our destiny. February 28th, 1999. 2100 hours. He got away. Serene is gone. When Amaral sent me through the machine, I thought I'd come out on the other end with a solution in sight. I found the opposite. The end of time. I saw it. I don't know what that means. Ever since I was 8 years old, I saw proof that things happen for a reason, that they can't be changed, that I had a purpose. I don't know what to believe now. If what I saw was real, then anything we do to stop it will fail. If that's true, then what is this all for? What does it mean? I can't give up. I'm gonna complete the cycle. Find a solution. There's still hope. I have to believe that. July 4th, 2010. I've spent years in denial. About what I saw, about its inevitability, the end of time. I wanted to believe maybe Jack was right. Maybe all this could be undone. Erased. I looked for proof. A loophole. Something. Jack's parents died in a car crash. 1999. I thought, maybe if I could stop it from ever happening, if that were possible, then I failed. I failed every time. Every time I tried to make things right. This is our destiny. The good and the bad, intrinsically tied to this path. It can't be bent. It can't be broken. No matter whether we succeed or fail, it still comes. I see it every night in my dreams, scraping away at my mind. The end of time is coming. And the only way I've been able to keep sane is by focusing on the present. What's here? Now, in front of me. But today's different. My whole life, I've had a mission. I'm going to see it through. Even if there's no hope. Even if we fail. This is what I was meant to do. And I know what happens next. This will be my final entry.
All right. July 4th, 2010. It's 9 a.m. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. It's finished. Finally finished. 11 years. And it's finished. In 1999,
She warned me that my research may lead to a fracture in time. Covered my tracks, hid the machine, but it wasn't enough. The fracture's no longer just a possibility. It's imminent. This is the countermeasure. This is the assurance that the fracture will no longer run its course. The science is sound. Now it's just up to the execution. I haven't heard from Beth Wilder in months. I don't know. I don't know if something's happened to her. I get the feeling I'm being watched. Watched. I can't tell the amount of things I've sacrificed in my life for this. I've isolated everyone I cared about. My relationship with my brother. Everything. This has to work. It can't be for nothing. July 4th, 2010. Beth Wilder, I'm addressing this video to you. You told me to stay away from my workshop, but I couldn't just leave it there. I went back to get it, and the entire place is a disaster zone. The countermeasure, gone, taken. Shit. The safe, empty. I just need to know you have it, because if it falls into the wrong hands, its power is immeasurable. Our future, our entire lives depend on it. This can't all be for nothing. You know where to find me. Please, hurry. Okay. The date is... It's February 28th, 1999. William Joyce. All right. After months of arduous work, my machine is finally ready for human testing. Ready is defined by me, since ready is obviously a relative term when you're dealing with the deformation of the chronon field and recreating of black hole's mass density by tangent. Okay, in short summary, I built a time machine, and it works. I'm gonna prove it, or die. Okay, just need to make some final preparations. When I enter the machine, I will travel clockwise around the corridor. Okay, core is active. Chronon levels are stable. I'll travel clockwise around the corridor, exiting back into the same location in the near future. Oh. This clock is set to my watch. Now, when I exit the machine, there should be a significant difference in time between my watch and the clock in this room. Corridor is locked in place. Okay, setting the date to 5 minutes to the future for the first test. Now, admittedly, traveling to the past would be much more impressive, but I can't travel backwards in time, only as far as the first activation of the machine's core, which is, well, now. Okay, machine's ready. Monitor is stable. What I'm about to do is gonna change the very fabric of the corridor. I don't remember. It's April 2nd, 1999. been about a month since the incident. Since I was shot by the man from the future. Since Wilder. I've moved the machine. Hidden it. I wish I could destroy it, but, I made it tell me as little as possible. The more you know about what'll happen, the worse it'll be. We're all puppets. I can take that for as long as I can't tell the difference. I think she understood. Doesn't matter anyway. She told me the fracture is gonna happen because of what I did. I have to fix it. I have to. I don't know how yet. I have to build a countermeasure of some kind. I know the theoretical mechanism of the field's collapse, but how to stop it, let alone reverse it. It'll take years of research. I have no idea how to do this. How to pay for it. I don't know. Wilder's from the future, and she came to me. I have to assume that I was successful, right? Why else would she come to me?